Joey Reese and Big Food Shop.
All right, so let me pull this up real quick, see what our topics of conversation. So, canceled shows. Did you ever have any? Want to or thought? What did you do to pass time on the road? Hobbies, video games, read, etc. And then, what did you never get to do on tour that you wish you could have? Those are just kind of three topics. I'm guessing the first two are going to take us to the end.
Let me text Keith because I don't think we ever canceled a show.
Okay. So I'll do like a little lead in here, and then if you want, when you're waiting for Keith to get back, I can do my end of it.
Okay.
All right, you guys. All right, you guys. All right, you guys. We are back with the paid portion, and Reese and I just tried to start two separate times and stumbled over each other. We have been gone for 2 weeks. Like, we've had to cancel. We haven't been able to record, and then he was out of town. So I was like, hey, while you're out of town, I'm going to schedule some interviews and do some interviews. And then it ended up I had to cancel those interviews because I got busy. Then when he got back into town, I couldn't record because of my schedule and different things that I was doing. And then the other day we were supposed to do it, and I just straight up like last minute canceled, which is always nice and rude. But it started making me think, like when we were thinking about topics, it's been 2 weeks. We weren't able to do it. We had to cancel our day that we normally record and some other, makeups and things like that. When you were with Five Iron or Roper or whoever, did you ever have to cancel shows? Did you ever cancel a show? I know for us, early on, we got like scared by like not canceling. So when the Insiders first started, we were getting bigger. We did a show where we had to, so we did like 2 shows in a day. And it was like we were just out there humping it at the beginning and as many shows as we could play. And so our manager booked us to play like a skate park at like 11 in the morning. And then
that's when rock and roll happens.
Yeah, exactly. And so we did the show at the skate park at like 11 in the morning in like somewhere in, I don't even know where, somewhere in the Midwest. So we do this show, and then we have to drive like straight away and be to this like camp, this big camp that we played at that night. And then the next day, we were to wake up from this camp, drive to Cleveland, and play with POD that night in Cleveland. So drive from like Indianapolis to Cleveland in by whatever certain time. And I remember we got to like this camp and we were so dead tired. Like we were just so dead tired. We were angry that we were, double booking and doing all that stuff and playing in the morning and at night. And it's not like we were playing in the morning and then playing that same festival at night.
Yeah.
We were playing in the morning, driving 10 hours to like get up on stage, use somebody else's gear to play that night, and then leaving again to play somewhere else the next day at 11 in the morning. I mean, it was ridiculous. So we got so tired and we were getting so burned out that we got to this camp. And when the camp, after like we played there and stuff, and we like crashed out, we each had like our own cabins and like all this stuff. It was so nice.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then we were like, you know what? Let's cancel. Somebody in the band had the great idea to cancel the Cleveland show. Like, we're not going to show up. And our manager's like, or our, manager, like booking agent guy at the time is like, whoa, what do you mean you're not going to show up? And we're like, yeah, we're burned out, man. We're tired. and we're not going to do this show. We do not want to drive to Cleveland. It was like an 8-hour drive. We're like, we're not going to do it. We don't want to do it. POD will be fine. There's an opening band. It's fine. And so then we started getting hit with the, like, if we don't do it, like, we're being, like, sued and, you know, like, we're in breach of contract and all this stuff. So we, like, reluctantly packed up all our crap, and this is, like, 3 hours after the time that we should have left.
Oh,
So
you got bullied into it.
We got bullied into it. We got scared into it that we were going to be sued for breach of contract. And so we ended up driving to Cleveland. That was one that, like, we pulled up, we got out, we used, like, POD's equipment, and then the show was over. We were there like a half hour.
Yeah.
You know, it was terrible. And then we got, like, the big talking to on, like, how the business works and, like, all these different things. And we kind of let our management know, like, okay, we're not doing any more of these, like, double bookings. We're not doing any.
Should have the talking to of, like, hey, do this again and you're fired. Stop.
Yeah, it
like,
basically was.
If you book 2 shows, you're driving.
Yeah.
You're gonna be there for both shows and you're driving.
And here's the thing. At the time, he wasn't here. Like, he was in Detroit. Like, he had a normal job. But he was booking our shows and managing. So, and, you know, he was just doing what, I mean, looking back, it's like those things in your life. Whatever's, like, the worst, you remember as, like, the most fondest memories. So, people who are in the military, the part that scares people into going in the military is, like, boot camp, you know? Or actual war. But what's the things that people talk about when they're out of the military? Boot camp and actually being in war. Like, it's the worst things in your life that make the best memories.
True.
So, you know, our manager at the time, like, he was just trying to get our name out there, trying to do as much for us as we possibly can. We understood that. And we were along with that at the beginning. But then it just got to be where it was like, dude, this is too much. So that was the only show. That was the only show we ever came close to canceling. Oh, and another thing that goes along with that. So we're at this camp. It's in the middle of the country in, like, southern Indiana.
Okay.
At this camp, next to the camp is a dairy farm. So what separates the dairy farm from the camp was this fence. Apparently, a part of the fence was broken. And it was a known thing, and it was an accepted thing that every single night, all the cows from this dairy farm come through the hole in the fence and, like, eat the grass on the campgrounds. So the campgrounds really didn't have to cut their lawn all that much because, like, these...
It's a sweet deal.
Like 200 cows would come through the fence and just munch all the nice green grass. And then as the sun started coming up, the cows would go back through the fence, go back onto their property. And so I remember I'm, like, sleeping in bed, and I'm in, like, a bunk bed next to a window. And I'm sitting there and I'm, like, dozing off. Again, I'm dead tired. Dozing off, and I hear... You know, I'm trying to make cow noises. So
Joe, you're pretty gifted at that.
Thank you. So I'm hearing cow noises. I'm like, what the heck? That sounds close. I open the window like a horror movie. I open the window and there is a cow right in the window. Like, it's looking at me. And the only thing that's separating us is a pane of glass in about 4 inches. So
that is like most horror movies.
Yeah. So I freak out. I, like, jump up. I'm like, hey. And I'm kind of waking up the other guys or getting the other guys up out of their rooms. I'm like, guys, there's cows out here, man. So we go outside. we're surrounded by 200 cows. So we're like 18, 19 years old, and we're thinking like we did something, or we've taken it upon ourselves. Like, we have to get these cows. We see where they're coming through the fence. So we take it upon ourselves to like get the cows back to the dairy farm and seal the fence. Well, it doesn't take a genius to realize that that wasn't happening. Like, 8 guys from Detroit were not wrangling 200 cows
Yeah.
back through a hole in a fence. It wasn't happening. But there were just cows everywhere. I've never stood that close to a cow without there being a fence between us. And they were just like walking by us, just eating, the grass and stuff like that. It was so weird. And that was the camp that we were at. And then we made the decision, nope, we're not going to Cleveland. And then the decision was made for us, nope, you're going to Cleveland. And then we did. And after that, we never canceled the show. The closest one was the one that I told you where Nate had that hemorrhoid.
Yes. And
And
he
was
still played on the bucket.
Yeah, and he sat on the bucket, and that was it. That, like, we thought about canceling that show because his butthole hurt so bad, but it ended up we didn't. And he played I think we only played 3 to maybe 5 songs. I think we got in 20 minutes worth, and then Nate just had to stop. But other than that, to my knowledge, we never canceled a show.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing. Also, your skills as a vaquero,
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
Thank you. An equine.
As
Oh,
an equine.
Bovine. Equine is horse. Bovine is cow.
I grew up in a ranching community, and many of my friends claim to have ridden cows.
Really?
Yeah, they would just be like, you just go over there and you jump on them. Now, this is kids, so they weigh less than 80 pounds, but they were riding cows because the cows were probably just running. Why? What is happening? Why am I being abused?
Yeah.
But my friends thought it was hilarious.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, wait, there was something I was going to ask. So, I'm trying to go back over it. I thought I had something halfway funny.
Magic Mike,
Magic Mike.
Chippendales.
Yep.
Nope,
Can't
I
think
lost
of
it.
Yeah. Dang it. Dang it all to heck.
Have
I'll
we
take
ever canceled shows?
Yeah. Have you?
So I texted Keith because I didn't remember ever doing it, but he has not texted me back. But as you were talking, I remembered one time.
Oh.
So in 5 Iron, and a lot of this came from Keith. Keith had just a very high moral standard. We all did, but Keith was the most. And so he did not think it was cool to cancel a show. If you're a promoter, you've put all this money into it, you've done all this stuff, it's a bad deal because you've rented a place, you've maybe rented a PA, whatever. But also it happens all the time because you and I know you see shows get canceled all the time, or tours get canceled. So me, in 5 Iron, I would get sick every single tour because I would feel guilty about being the singer and then go shake everybody's hand and get everybody to cough in my face or whatever they did when they were talking at me. So every tour I got sick, and every tour I would just be like, you know how David Lee Roth or Weezer or Radiohead or any band in human history, when they're, you know how when their singer gets sick,
They don't play.
they stop playing the shows. They're
So you
just
can
like,
get better.
we just took a 3-day break or whatever. You just cancel the tour or whatever. You know how Rihanna does that? Or, and they would just be like, shh, just be quiet. Stop talking. You got to save your voice for the show.
Yeah.
We never canceled shows for illness. Like I told you about playing the Royal Oak Theater where I was just literally walking over to the side of the stage, puking in a garbage can, and then singing. Because the guys in Five Room would just be like, as long as that guy is in front and there's noise coming out of his face, people like us.
We're good. We're
yeah,
golden.
They would just turn me way down in their monitors and not give a shit.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I remember like being sick at some shows, and there was always the infamous Fazoli's.
Yes.
Where I was crapping out green snot.
Fish-smelling snot.
Fish-smelling greenish snot out of my butthole. And my wife at the time too was doing the same thing. In the ladies' room. Even then, that was the Holy Roller tour. Even then, like, you know, I sick out on the bus all day, and then they're like, all right, we're on in 5. Like, I go in there, and I have no hydration in my body because I have just crapped every ounce of moisture out of my body. 4 inches of rectum just hanging.
Prolapse rectum.
Yeah, just pink socking it.
Mm-hmm.
And and then I get out there and I sing. And I just remember telling the audience, like, hey, I might have to run to the bathroom. If I do, jump up on stage and sing and do something. And I can't remember if that happened or if I got through like our set. I can't remember if I ever ran to the bathroom. There's a part of me that says I did. And then, like, it was like karaoke, whoever wanted to come up and sing, or maybe Andy got on stage and sang or whatever. I think that may have happened, but it also might not have. And I may have just sang the whole set and then when it was over, ran to the bathroom.
The problem is that it didn't make it better the next night. Like, if you were just like, okay, I'll see if I can sing. Nobody understood that, like, that means that next night is going to be twice as bad.
Right.
And it'll just go for weeks. Like, you'll not have your range back for weeks. Mm-mm. We just kept going.
Yeah, you just keep going.
That's why I had that thing where I would inhale the steam, because I was always sick. I was always, like, clearing stuff out from the last time I was sick, and then I would just be like, breathe in the steam thing.
You know what that reminds me of? Like the being sick, where you said then like the next show was worse, and then the next show was worse. It reminds me of sleep on tour.
Yeah.
And like you'd get into these funks where it would usually be like a stretch of a tour, and I'm sure you guys did this too. We weren't the only ones. Where you would do a tour where maybe, and it was like 98, 99 when ska was just huge.
Yeah.
And you were doing shows every week where like you were flying like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And so with the Insiders, we were doing that where like we would play Oklahoma on like a Monday night, get up, fly to Dallas, then get on a plane, fly to Atlanta, play Atlanta at noon, then fly back to Dallas and play Dallas at like 8 o'clock at night. So at that point, our tour bus that had started the day in Oklahoma was now in Dallas. And then you're just jumping on the tour bus, heading to the next city to do whatever. And I remember there were just times on tour where as a 19, 20, 21-year-old, you're just angry because all you want to do is sleep.
Yes.
Like you would give your parents away. You would you would smack your grandma across the face to just get like 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Did that ever happen? Like, was that wasn't just us? Was that you guys
totally. Like, I feel like I could start a decent business as a consultant for bands, and my whole speech would just be like, hey, they'd call me and they'd be like, I have to drive 8 hours and we only got 2 hours of sleep, and I'd just be like, well, what's tomorrow? What does it look like after? And they'd be like, well, we're staying in this nice hotel, and I'll just be like, shut your fat yap.
Yeah.
Just play the show. Just get through it. Pretend like you're a rock star. Like, get up there and act cool.
Yeah.
And then you're done. And then go to sleep. Because when you're my age, you're going to be like, you're not going to remember that at all. What you're going to remember is you're cool because you played that show,
right.
or you gave your all.
Yeah.
Well, like, remember that. Or remember how hard it is, because you're going to remember how cool you are because you did that.
Yeah. And I remember a lot on Ska Mania. Like, we did, like, those Ska Mania shows were big. I can't remember if we flew to any of them. Like, I can't remember if the three of us, like, if our bands, like, we had to fly to make dates or anything like that. I can't remember that. But
I don't
think
definitely,
so.
We had it started in California. Did you guys drive out there or did you fly out there?
We drove.
And then you drove, because I remember it being in Denver soon after that. So there was some distance to cover. I don't remember what we did either. We might have drove in. We might have drove too.
Droved in. It's past tense.
Thank you.
And remember, if you run through a campsite, you have to ran because it's past tense. So.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah. But I remember, like, the airport days where, in those bigger shows, like when ska was at its peak, man, and you're sitting in an airport, and if you get two seats next to each other that are open, you're, like, curled up on that seat.
That is the best. That was like the best gift ever, that you got three seats together and you could go into fetal position. Yeah,
and like it didn't matter if next to like your head was like a businessman, you didn't care because your sleep, like how tired you were, was trumping anything else.
Yeah, there's like four seat belts poking into your ribs, and then like the curvature of the seats. You're just there's nothing comfortable about that, but you would totally crap out.
Yeah, and then you'd get to the venue. You'd finally get to the venue, and everyone's setting up and doing all that stuff, and church chairs that were always stacked. So you would be playing in like a sanctuary, but they would take down all the chairs and clear them out.
Yeah.
And then they were usually like stacked against, in like a back room or in the choir room on the side. And you'd be like laying on all these stacked chairs, just trying to catch a half hour here. Squad 5-0 is sound checking. I'm going to try and sleep during their sound check. And you're just like sleeping on a stack of chairs. You're sleeping on suitcases. You're using like your sweatshirt as a pillow anywhere. And the thing is, we talked about it earlier that like it's the bad memories that make the good memories. Those are the things that like I remember and I almost miss. Yeah. Like I almost miss that. Like I am so tired that I'm so tired that I would give anything just for a moment of shut-eye. I kind of miss that.
Well, Joe, it's available.
I know. Like, as an adult, I don't let myself go there. Like, a few weeks ago, I was out with friends before a very, 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 very busy day at work. And I did that thing where I was like, okay, I have to be up at 5 a.m. for work. I need to be done with my friends at 11. And then 11:30 rolled around, and I was like, I'll stay another half hour. Because if I stay another half hour, I can still get 4-ish hours of sleep, and I should be good. Now, mind you, it was 4 hours of sleep to then go to work and work 16 hours.
Ouch.
Yeah, work a double. So then, it started off. I had to leave at 9. I was completely off. I was going to leave at 9 so I could get home and get plenty of sleep to wake up at 5. And then I stayed till 10. And then I stayed till 11. And at this point, I'm like, well, it's 11, so if I stay till midnight, I'll be pushing it. I ended up staying till 2 in the morning.
Dude.
Got home, which was a half hour away. So I got to sleep at 3 in the morning, had to wake up at 5 to work a double. And then once that double was done, that ended at 11 o'clock at night. When that double was done, got off at 11, went home, slept till 5, had to get up and work another double.
Dude.
And so it was like the stupidest thing I ever did was like that night before. And so as of late, and that's probably been the worst in like 10 years. That was the worst thing I've done in like 10 years as far as like sleep deprivation. I was sick. When I don't get enough sleep, my stomach gets like upset. So I was like at work and I kind of felt like I was going to crap my pants all day. Like I was just off. Like you kind of feel nauseous. You don't feel like eating anything. Or that's how I get.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awful.
That's how I get. I also crap your pants.
Yeah.
When I get that tired.
Yeah. Just imagine crapping somebody else's pants.
Just imagine crapping the pants.
I like how you're like my hype man right now.
Yeah.
Just repeating what I'm saying, but in a more energetic way.
Imagine crapping Joe's pants.
We need to start a spoken word tour.
Yeah.
We need to do a podcast tour. I keep getting
Joe,
messages.
you keep saying that. I don't think it's a real thing.
I know, that's why we would start
as a
it.
tour. I think we should do Ska Mania 2, 10 dates.
Oh, Lord.
Right? Over 6 months. Well, you could do it. You just fly in.
Oh.
It's easy. You fly in.
And boy, are my arms tired.
Let me paint this picture to you. Have you ever been to Applebee's?
Yes.
Okay, well, you fly in. You go to Applebee's for
Okay. You've already lost me.
for happy hour.
Okay.
You can get the skewers, the mildly Indonesian skewers, and then you're satiated.
Yeah.
You go back to your guitar player's hotel room. You
Okay.
pretend like you're partying. You're like,
Okay.
ooh, and they're laying on the bed watching YouTube videos on their phone. And then you're like, I gotta go to bed. And then you go to sleep.
You don't leave and go back to Applebee's?
No, you go back to your bed. You have your own bed in a hotel room, which is a nice hotel room that has a breakfast buffet. You sleep for 10 hours because you're exhausted because you've been working a real job. And then you sleep for 10 hours and then you wake up and you have about 6 to 8 hours of just like, what am I going to do now?
Can I sleep more?
Should I sleep more? Should I go down to the weight room? Does this place have a hot tub? What's next door? You could call Uber. You have 3 rental cars. You drive around. You could do whatever you want because you're an adult. Sometimes you live in a town in Western Virginia that doesn't have any Hot Topics. And you're like, I'm going to go to Hot Topic. You can do that. Yeah.
Man.
You can go get so many different belts to accessorize your outfit.
No.
Because you have a full-paying job.
I must have forgotten about all of this on tour because why I stopped touring.
This is what it's like now. Then you play a show. You go to the show. Everybody's nice to you because they think you're old. And they're like, this guy's a senior statesman of ska. And they're nice to you. There's people that show up and they're like, can we run your merch booth for you? That also happens. Sometimes you have to set it up because you feel guilty because you're the singer. You do that. Drummer doing sound check takes at least half an hour, probably an hour. You can take a nap during that because you
Okay.
just lay on the floor next to the kick drum and the soothing, like the vibrations, put you to sleep.
Right.
You wake up, you do a sound check, which may be running through your whole set because you haven't practiced. You go back into some green room where you're hanging out with some other band. There's a bunch of craft beers and some cold cuts, and they feed you a lot of really good food, and then you have to play, and
And
then
this is
you
the
drink
ska
so much
scene now?
yeah, you drink so much Fireball to get through the set, you kind of black out for the next couple hours,
Okay.
and then you sleep another 10 hours, and then drive 2 hours to the next show, do the same thing. Next morning, your head feels like you've been shot by a shotgun. You go
You're
home,
Cobain in it.
and then your kids are like, I didn't think I had a father, and they're so glad to see you.
Yeah.
You do that like once every 2 months. That's what it's like. It's amazing. You should do
Wow.
it.
You've made me start to rethink this whole maybe I should go back out and do stuff again.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it sounds it. I mean, you had me at Applebee's, I think.
Well, I was hitting you with the really good stuff at first.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then once you had me hooked, you just kept dropping other nuggets. But once you got me with that Bourbon Street steak and that Oreo
It's
shake
the
with
mildly
the whipped
Indonesian skewers.
cream, yeah, that sealed the deal.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what it's like. That's what Ska Mania 2 would be like. All three of our bands doing that. And then every once in a while you'd talk to each other and you'd just be like, this is crazy, right? And then you'd say, yeah. And that would be about it.
I feel like I would show up, and the Supertones would all be busy, like too busy to do anything. Because that's what it always was. Too busy to do anything. Too busy to talk. They were too busy talking to other tooth and nail bands than to worry about little old us.
They were too busy stabbing my face off. I don't know what to say mean about the Supertones. I really just want to talk to Chief and Carson right now. They're so nice.
Yeah, I know. Those are good dudes. Spencer, good dude.
I love them.
Tony, good dude. Mojo, good dude.
They're all good dudes.
So
anyways, Ska Mania 2.
Mojo's standing off camera here, smacking a baseball bat against his open palm. So if I don't say anything nice about him, I'm gonna get a Louisville Slugger right in the chin.
That's why we're doing it.
That's why. So, I mean, it does sound fun-ish. Here's where you lose me though, and this is what people who ask if we're going to go back out on tour and stuff like that. This is what they don't understand. Like, and I know I'm not like different, so I'm not like painting a picture as like, oh, woe was me. But for me, I work so much that when it's my days off, I don't want to be like driving somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't want. Like I work all week and then to have a weekend where I would get off work on Friday, fly to Texas, play Texas like that night or, that Saturday, fly somewhere or drive somewhere, play on Sunday, then fly home and then wake up and go to work on Monday.
That part is rough. What's rough is going to work for me. I'm just like, I have to be a normal adult now.
Yeah.
Whereas I spent 2 days just like having fun with my friends and pretending like I was a rock star.
Yeah.
That's the good part. Going back to normal life is what sucks. Not that you're tired. You're a little
Well,
tired.
here's the deal.
I do guarantee you get more sleep these days.
Here's the deal. I will say this. If somebody puts it together I would seriously think about getting Insiders guys together, doing at least. We would open, right? We would open the thing.
We should keep it the same.
What do you mean?
Like, same order. You guys, us, Supertones.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. As of late, probably the way popularity goes, I would probably say it'd have to go us, Supertones, and you guys. Because like, didn't Supertones try to do?
That's cool.
I think like Supertones tried to do a Kickstarter or something, and they didn't reach their goal. And then you guys make like $4 million on a Kickstarter project.
That is a fluke. I don't know why that didn't happen.
Yeah, but we could do whatever. But if we did a half-hour set, I wouldn't do any more than a half hour. Like, let us knock out 6 songs with some banter in between. I could probably remember 6 songs.
No, man. These people are old. They're not going to dance around a lot. An hour each.
Oh, dear. No, but what? See, that's where you lose me, man. I can't remember the lyrics for an hour's worth of songs.
You could. Just practice. It'll come back. It's muscle memory. Look, and also, who cares? Like, people still like Five Iron, and I don't remember any lyrics ever.
But that's your shtick. Like people, you're beloved for that. Like, dude, my band would hate me. They'd be like, dude, what is your problem? You sang these songs for 20 years. How come you can't remember them? And then plus the other thing is I wouldn't want to sing anything that's pre-Soundtrack to a Revolution. I'd want to do soundtrack songs,
do that.
Sinner's Songbook songs, and that's it. Like, I wouldn't want to do, like, Scallyluya. So, people would come to, like, I want to hear this.
You don't want to make anyone happy.
Exactly.
Except Joe.
Right.
Only Joe will be happy.
Right.
Okay, so I'm glad you're thinking about it.
Which is more than I've done the last 10 years.
All right. So the proposition is we would play, say, 12 shows. So every other month, we'd do a fly out. You'd fly, you'd have to drive like no more than 4 hours, play another show, fly home the next day, fly home on Sunday. And really, it only hurts. It's only bad if you poison yourself like I do with Fireball.
Well, I mean, I know there'd probably be some shenanigans going on.
It opens up a lot of windows for shenanigans.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of shenanigans.
Yeah.
And being single, single-ish.
I feel like we should call it Scamania 3. Like, we should just cut out Scamania 2.
Yeah.
Call it Scamania 3.
Yeah.
Because that will get, people will just be like, man, I miss Scamania 2, but Scamania 3 is going to be epic.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. I must have missed that second one, or it didn't come through my town. I mean,
but just do 12 shows. Just do like L.A., Denver, Chicago, Detroit.
No, see,
New
that's
York.
the thing. We couldn't do Detroit. We wouldn't. I mean, how many people are we thinking are going to be showing up for the show? Like 200?
No, like 10,000.
No way.
Like 10 million.
Okay. All right.
At least 1,000. I think people would show up for this.
Really? Mm-hmm. How many people are you getting at Five Iron shows?
When we first came back, it was thousands.
Really?
It was like, it was like 1,000. It was 500 or more.
Wow.
When we play with MXPX, it's that. Because it's nostalgic. People our age want this.
Yeah, I don't know if
I
they
want it.
This. Do you really?
Yeah, man, I want to go to a nostalgic show.
Wait, right, you want to go to one, but you don't want to be the nostalgia, do you?
Yes. It's fun.
Oh, I feel like you're I feel like you're changing my mind to where I want to do this, and I hate you for it.
Okay. So going back to the topic, did we ever cancel shows? I texted Keith. He couldn't remember. However, he may be high because he lives in Colorado, and I believe he somehow uses the marijuana.
Oh boy.
Yeah. He's like, I don't remember any. He doesn't remember any because he never did. One thing that came up right before we did Quantity is Job 1, I had told Keith, so this is my memory, and I could be wrong. Keith could be right. So let's just caveat that.
Okay.
My dad wanted to go climbing. So my dad climbs all these mountains in Colorado called 14ers, which are over 14,000 feet. He can't anymore because his knees don't work.
Right.
But he's climbed 50 of the 53 14ers. Patreons, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember how many there are. He's got 3 left. 3. Pyramids, Snowmass, and some other one. Anyway, he wanted to climb up one of these with me. I started climbing them with him because he fell doing this.
Oh.
Did I tell you about this? This is a whole other podcast. My dad almost dying on the Maroon Bells.
Oh.
So I was just like, hey, and, like anytime my dad was like, he lived in Phoenix. He was coming up to climb. I was like, okay, I got to do this or my dad will die.
Yeah.
So my dad was like, 4th of July, that sounds good, Reeser. Let's do it. Let's climb 14. Let's climb out 14 or we're going to climb Capitol Peak. I think it was our first time, maybe our second time trying this. We tried 4 times. But I believe I submitted my request in verbal form because we're not very official at Five Iron Frenzy Incorporated. Like, hey, I need 4th of July off. I need that weekend off. And, of course, that was Cornerstone. So all of a sudden it was like in the ads. And I'm like seeing it in magazines and stuff. And I'm just like, dude, I can't. I told my dad I'd climb with him. And like in my head, I'm like, if I don't go with him, he could die. He got airlifted off of a mountain, like with a helicopter. Oh. So I was
How much
afraid.
is that? Oh, that was a huge bill, wasn't it?
It was about $30,000, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and he didn't have insurance. We'll talk about this on another podcast or Patreon because it's a long story.
Yes, I think I remember you saying that he got lifted out, and it was a $30,000 bill.
Yeah.
Like, how do you pay that, man?
Dude, he wouldn't declare bankruptcy. Like, it was like a pride thing for him. So he just worked it off. It was maddening.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's crazy.
I had told Keith this. I believe. I could be wrong. I want to say I could be wrong because I'm remembering that I told him, but he did not remember. And so while we were recording Quantity is Job 1, I was so pissed at Keith that I wouldn't talk to him. And this is a dude that had been my best friend since 8th grade. So it was awful. Like the whole album, Scott had clocked out. Like he just like, here's some songs. And we're like, I guess we can make an EP if Dennis writes 1 or 2. And then we, like Dennis and Micah wrote some. And I made the Pants Song opera on this little portable sequencer thing I had. And then we put it out. But like Keith and I were fighting the whole time. Not fighting. We fought and then just didn't talk to each other. And we were roommates. We lived in Dennis's basement together, and we would not talk to each other. It was really, really tense. So what I remember is that we had confirmed, like, through our record label we were playing Cornerstone that year, and then we backed out, which was 1998? 98.
So you backed out of Cornerstone?
I think so. And yeah, I think it was Cornerstone. Nothing else. I think that was the only year we didn't play Cornerstone.
Really?
And to me, I was just like, hey, man, I need to go hiking with my dad. It's cool. We've played Cornerstone. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
We've played it a couple of years. Might have been 99. Anyway, it was rough. Other than that, we made it a point we never canceled shows.
Yeah.
And there would be stuff. I remember driving, just white knuckle driving the school bus, blizzard, and just being like, if we just pulled over, I wouldn't feel like I'm going to die for the next 8 hours. Or not
Right.
driving, being in the back, and just every time it slides, you're like, we're going to die. But we never canceled any shows. And it was mostly Keith. And it was mostly just because Keith has like a godlike amount of integrity. He just was like, we agreed to do this. We signed a contract. Like there
Yeah.
are people that depend upon us.
Yeah.
There are kids that are going to go to that show that are going to be devastated if we don't show up.
Yeah.
We have to go.
Yeah.
And we did every show.
Yeah.
The Cornerstone thing, I think it was probably a month ahead of time that we were like, okay, we can't play. So they could have worked it out. And not like Cornerstone was like, I wonder if there's any bands that want to play. They figured it out.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, like, the way you just put it, as far as, like, the integrity and there's a kid there, I think that's what, like, we did when we were at that. Like, when we were at the camp, and we, like, a few of us that were, like, vocal and stubborn about it, were like, we can't do this. We can't do this. We're not going to drive to Cleveland. We've been double booked. We're not doing this. And then what happens is you come to the collective agreement of like, okay, let's do this. Let's call our manager and tell him to cancel the show in Cleveland. We're not playing it.
Yeah.
And I equate it to like a bratty, like 13-year-old they're finally going to do that the first time that they're going to talk back to their parent. And that's what we did. We were like bratty prima donnas. We were tired. We didn't want to do it. But here's the thing, and I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. There's something that you don't want to do. When you then don't do it, the fallout is worse than if you would have just done it.
Yeah.
So I think collectively we were like, let's not do this. Let's put our foot down. We're not going to play Cleveland. And then as soon as Johnny, like our road manager, went and started calling our management, it's like as soon as Johnny left the room, we were like, oh my gosh, we just did that. And so then you start thinking about all that stuff. Like, well, what about the fans in Cleveland? Like, what about the kids that bought the ticket and did this and did that? And then suddenly it's like, you know what? What's another night of sleep deprivation? What's another night of just being so tired, If it was a Thursday, we were probably looking at it like, you know what? We can sleep on Monday. We have like a day off or something like that. And then you start thinking about it after you've already sent your road manager out to say, forget it. And then you start thinking about it and you're like, now the decision we made, I feel worse. Like I feel worse than just getting in the van and going. And I think that's what we did. So when Johnny came back, it was like, dude, management's pissed, all this stuff. They said, absolutely not. We think you should go. I think by that point we were like, all right, yeah, that's fine. That was stupid.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's just do it. And we went and we just did it. And, it was what it was. But, yeah, you feel worse. Well, I guess that's when you know that what you're doing is not right. So like you feel worse, and you're like, you know what? Let's just bite the bullet and do it.
This is my consulting service. This is what my new business is consulting bands. Because I'll just be like, you're 26. When you're in your 40s, you'll do this. You'll stay up and work this hard because you wish you were 26.
Yeah.
Like, just do it. You have a day off here.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
You're going to be
You'll
44.
sleep harder.
Yeah, you're going to be
You
44.
sleep 10 hours. Yep.
And you're going to wish that the hardest part of your week was the fact that you had to play 3 shows in 2 days.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Now, I have another question, because we've been talking about this canceling stuff for a while. What did you do, like, on tour to, like, pass the time? So, and I don't mean pass the time, like, at a hotel. I'm talking about wheels rolling. You're on the school bus. You're moving. You're driving from Denver to Phoenix. You're doing whatever. What were you doing? What were people in the band doing to pass the time? What were your hobbies that you would do during that time?
So if you know from previous podcasts, I had an Apple laptop early on, and I was trying to start my own business doing graphic design because I was halfway through an art minor at the University of Colorado. And I designed all of the Five Iron t-shirts, which looking back, I'm just like, they kind of sucked. But we just did it because we didn't want to pay somebody. We were cheap.
Yeah.
But I was doing, like, I was trying to start up this design business, which is awful. You know, like, it was hard trying to do that on the road. I would just pick a band and I'd be like, I'm going to design a mock-up t-shirt for these guys and see if they like it. So, like, the Dingies, I took the Bee Gees cover, like the Bee Gees Greatest Hits. It's like Bee Gees, and there's like this kind of blue, purple spot behind it, like this fading rainbow spot.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm going to make it the Dingies, but that on a piece of bread, so it looks like mold. And I made that for them. I was like, hey, guys, what do you think about this? And they were just like, that's great. But this is not how you start a business. You know, like they were just like, well, okay. So I did it for like a couple bands, and then it petered out, like my desire to do it. And like no bands were just like, yes, we'll buy this. And then I had a portfolio. So I did that a bunch. I would write lyrics. I'd work on songs on the laptop. But the main thing is that we had a TV, and first we had a Nintendo 64, and then we had a PlayStation 1 that Saki had. I don't think he did this himself, although I believe he could. I think he paid somebody, but you could hack it. You could get some
A chip.
Yeah, you could get a chip put in it, and then you could play copied games.
Yeah.
So we had a sleeve from Saki of about 100 games. I think the statute of limitations has run its course.
Yeah.
But like, just we could play PlayStation all the time. However, PlayStation kind of skipped on the bus. The PlayStation 1. We didn't play a lot. But Nintendo 64, GoldenEye, we played to death.
Yep.
We played it so much.
Yeah, that was a big thing on our bus, was the N64, GoldenEye. We would have like tournaments. Mm-hmm. That was so fun. And then after shows, what I would always do is we'd all get in the bus, and you kind of like settle down after a show. You know, it takes you a little bit to wind down. So then everybody starts going to bed at like 2 a.m, and I would stay up because I would always like play video games from like 2 to 4.
Oh, geez, Joe.
So I'd play like GoldenEye. Like everyone had like their own game saved, and I would play GoldenEye while everyone else was asleep, and then I would go to sleep at like 4 and then sleep till noon, whatever the case may be. And then other guys would try and play it in the day, and people are walking by the TV and, hey, can I play? Let me get next game, whatever.
Yeah.
So it always allowed me to play like the one person, like the actual game. And then when everybody was up, we would play like the 4-person, like that type of thing. But we loved GoldenEye. And then the other game we played was WCW versus Nitro wrestling. And
What?
one of the greatest memories that I have was we left Detroit and we were playing Chicago. It's about a 4.5-hour drive from Detroit to Chicago. And that WCW versus Nitro, Monday Nitro, WCW versus, I think that's what it was called. I
Sounds
forget.
legit.
Yeah. Well, so they had the Battle Royale, whatever it's called. And it was like 25 people. But what you would do is you would have 4 people play. So 4 people would all pick whatever wrestler they wanted to start with. And then if you got thrown out of the ring or got pinned or beat, your guy was done, but then you got whoever came in next. And so until the 25 guys are gone. So we leave Detroit, and there's 4 of us playing this wrestling game. It's like me, Bram, I think Nate, and Johnny.
Uh-huh.
And we're playing this wrestling game. Take out Nate. I think it was Bo. Me, Bram, Bo, and Johnny.
Okay.
And we're playing this. We each pick our guy at the beginning, and I pick Bret the Hitman Hart. So we're going. It gets down to where we are now in Chicago. We are 10 minutes from the venue. We've played this game, this one match, the
For 4
entire time.
hours?
For 4 hours we've played
Oh my
this.
gosh.
And this one match. And so I had started with Bret Hart, and everybody else had like gotten booted, all this stuff. They're on their like 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 7th guy. And I had Bret the Hitman Hart. And you don't know what number you're on. Like if somebody's been counting, so be it. But there's nothing on the screen that says whoever is. So
What do you mean you don't know what number you're on?
So in the Battle Royal, it starts with 4 people in the ring, and then every time someone goes out, a new player comes in, like a new wrestler comes in. So you start out with 4 wrestlers. Whenever a wrestler gets booted, a new one comes running down the aisle, and then whoever just got booted, they now become that character. So if you started off with like Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan got thrown out of the ring, the next guy down could be Randy Macho Man Savage, and then you would then be Macho Man. So I was Bret Hitman Hart. I went the whole way. And there's only 25. So there's the limit is 25 wrestlers. So after the 25th one I can't remember if it was 25 or 50 or whatever. But whatever the last one is, you don't know what number they're on unless you've been keeping track.
Right.
So I have Bret the Hitman Hart all the way to the end. We've left Detroit. We're now in Chicago.
You haven't been eliminated.
I have not been eliminated. And I am getting so stoked. And so finally, I get thrown out of the ring. And as soon as I get thrown out of the ring, there's no more wrestlers to come down. So like the 25th guy had already gotten in the ring. So as soon as I got pitched out, the other 3 guys, like they just battle it out down to the last remaining guy. So I was the 4th from the last tossed out. I was so pissed. I was so angry.
Because you had stayed the whole time and they were just recycling.
Yeah, and so because my guy was from the beginning, like his health was down. Like these other guys, they were like the 25th guy in. So he's got like fresh legs. He's got full energy. So I was just whooping these guys the whole time with a guy who was like, his energy was real low. And finally I get tossed out. I was so angry, like the rest of the day. Like the show we played in Chicago, like I didn't want to talk to people. I was ticked because of Bret the Hitman Hart didn't win the Battle Royale. But it's one of those things that it was such a fun. We were going nuts. I mean, we were 18, 19, 20-year-olds. We're hooting and hollering, yelling and screaming, like having a great time until the end there. And that's when I got like angry. Another time
and it was legit anger.
Yeah. Another time we were playing NCAA college football, and Bram figured out a glitch in it. And
what was the glitch?
The glitch was there was people had momentum. So if you were like a running back running with the ball and you ran in like a Z pattern, you couldn't get tackled. It was next to impossible to tackle because of
you had to do it with the joystick. It wasn't like a okay.
And it was next to impossible to tackle when you were like running this, and it was like a timed Z pattern. It was like you had to know the exact like split second to come back the other way, and when you did
go
that,
F5 and you cut back to the left.
Yeah, because if it was like if you're watching my hand, if it's you're running and you go to the right for a second and a half, and you go to the left for a second and a half, and a right to the second and a half, you could get tackled. But if you did like right for 3/4 of a second, left 3/4 of a second, right, like whatever it was, Bram knew it. And I got so sick of it, I just popped the game out, opened the window, chucked it out
Joe.
as like we're driving down the highway. I just ripped this CD game. I just threw it like a frisbee out the window. And Bram was like,
so pissed because he was schooling you.
Yeah, the score was like 100-7. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I just popped the game out. He's like, oh, man, seriously, are you doing that? And I just chucked it out the window. And he goes,
the real game, not a copy made by Saki.
Real game. And he goes, what are you doing? I was like, it's my game anyway, which it was. I was like, it's my game anyway. I don't care. And he's like, you're such a poor sport. Like, you're such a poor loser. Yeah, I just ripped this video game out the window.
That's what it was like playing any game with Brad. He's like a savant. He could kick your ass at any game. He'd just be like, what's this? Princess Periwinkle, and it's a puzzle game? Okay, cool. And then he'd be beating your ass like every time. There was no game you could play Brad where he would not just school you.
Yeah. Yeah, usually it was me. Like, I was always that guy that was always, like, very good at the games. But, like, Bram would get, like, really good at a game. Or Kyle got really, we had like a baseball game, and Kyle got really good at the baseball game. So he went from like just getting his butt kicked all the time to then we'd play him and he was whooping us in it. And like we were getting angry at that too. And like whatever he was doing with pitches and stuff, he was tearing us. Oh yeah, he practiced day and night. He like created his own character. Like, I mean, it was crazy. But it was like those were fun. So we did a lot of video games. I didn't do a whole lot of reading. Bo and Nate wasn't a video game guy, and Bo did occasionally. But it was mainly like me, Bram, Sang, Kyle, Johnny. We played video games nonstop. And Bo and Nate were always reading, man. They would read like a book in like 3 days.
That was like Leonore and Dennis.
Yeah.
Always reading. Leonore actually would handwrite all the fan mail. So we had a P.O. box. She would get it at the beginning of the tour, and then she'd just spend the most of the tour answering fan mail, which is so cool. Super cool.
Wow.
Dennis, he would just read, and then it seemed like he'd get annoyed that the TV was on, like we were playing games or watching a movie. He was always kind of upset by it. Hardly ever participated. He would just be reading.
It's funny that you bring up movies. So we had like a VCR, old school, like VCR in there. And someone would always bring, you'd always bring the movies that you'd want to watch.
Yeah.
I remember one tour, like we get in and we're like, all right, who brought like the movie bag? Like we put all the movies in like a duffel bag.
Yeah.
Everyone forgot it. Like we forgot the duffel bag of movies. So we're like, are you kidding me? So we found there was a copy of Happy Gilmore that had fallen behind the TV stand. So we had Happy Gilmore for an entire like month-long tour, and that was the only movie we watched. And so
If you had to pick a movie, I would vote for that one.
yeah, so it was on every day, every night. If someone wanted to watch something, all you could watch was Happy Gilmore.
People kept watching it.
Yeah, we would just watch it.
Happy Gilmore.
And then at a certain point it was like, hey, maybe we should like buy some movies at like a Flying J. And it was like, nah, we're going to do it with just Happy Gilmore.
Oh my God.
So we went like an entire tour. Happy Gilmore would play 3 times a day, every day on the bus. It would just play.
At your home.
Yeah.
Go in your home.
Here's another funny story. So when I got hired by the Detroit Roofing Company at the business at the station for the Detroit Roofing Company, they had a TV mounted up on the wall, and it was a TV that had a VCR built into it. And underneath the TV, VCRs were no longer a thing. Like everyone had DVD players at this point. This was
But this is what they had to work with.
yeah, this was 2012. So DVD players were
Definitely.
normal. So people would bring in their VCR tapes from home, and they would just throw them. So the TV was mounted like 7 feet in the air, and they would just throw their VCR tapes underneath the TV. So there was just a pile. There was a pile like 4 feet in diameter and about 5 feet tall of just VCR tapes, and you'd like reach your hand in and pull one out, and then they'd all avalanche down.
No.
Yeah. So that went on for like a few months where like everyone was bringing in their old VCR tapes. Well, then the TV, a Steven Seagal Marked for Death, got stuck in the VCR. And it couldn't eject. And this TV was so old, like the department wasn't going to take this TV down and get a new one. So it was the same thing. Steven Seagal Marked for Death
all the time.
just played nonstop. So the TV couldn't even be on. So if you turned it on, it automatically started playing the VCR, the Marked for Death, Steven
What do you
Seagal.
mean it couldn't be on? You should have just turned it on every time you saw it.
Yeah, so if you didn't want to watch Steven Seagal, if you turn the channel to see if like the antennas picked something up, it would sense that there was a VCR, a tape in the VCR, and it would automatically play the VCR tape. So
Hey, let's see if the taggers are on.
yeah.
Oh,
No.
whoa, they're kicking ass. Damn
Yeah.
it, this is Steven Seagal.
Yeah, Steven Seagal just running through New Orleans, the French Quarter, after Voodoo Mama Juju, doing whatever. Yeah, and that's what it was. So this tape, so if you've ever, like on Christmas, you turn on like TNT and it's a Christmas Story just playing over and over and over, that's what this was. It was
How long
Steven
did it go,
Seagal
Joe?
Marked for Death for 8 months.
Oh, the poor roofers.
8 months, every single day. That's all it was on.
Oh my God.
And then finally, someone something happened to the TV. Like they just broke the TV. They did something, and then like that didn't even work. Or I left, and I came
Somebody squirted a squirt bottle into it or something.
Probably, yeah, something to get that tape out. Tried to get it out with a butter knife or something.
Dude.
Oh, it was killer. It was killer. All right, what's our time? What are we at here?
I think we're past time. We're
All
good.
right, good. Let's bring this to an end then. So, paid people, we thank you so much for contributing your dollars to our stupidity, making us believe that the stupider we are, the more you guys enjoy it, pay your money, so we can get wealthy beyond our wildest dreams.
Totally.
I'm still waiting to get wealthy beyond my wildest dreams.
I am gonna use this to pay the mortgage.
Good. That's what I want to hear.
I'm starting a job next Monday.
That's awesome. And then we can just give this to charity. When I say charity, I mean our wallets.
I mean a stripper.
Yes, named Charity.
Yes.
So, Patreon members, thank you so much. You can find us on Instagram, the Pickle and Boot Shop podcast. You can find us on Facebook. We don't do a whole lot with our Facebook, but Daniel Rock does a fantastic job with the Diabolical Discussion page. You can check us out there and get involved in conversations and meme making and all that stuff. We try and stay not political and not all that nonsense on there. It's just a fun place. So if you're looking to get all political and all that stuff, don't come there. It's just fun. And they can find us on Patreon, and they can find us on, you do the Twitter. What's that?
I don't do the Twitter. I haven't updated it in about 3 months. It's at capital P, capital B, Oot Shop.
There you go. So you guys check that out.
How Twitter works.
If you message us on Facebook, here's the other thing. Stuff has gotten crazy as of late. So Reese has been
right now
out of town. I've been busy. And then as far as our social media, that just keeps dropping down the to-do list because we just have so many other things. Hopefully pretty soon here it'll get back to normal. We'll have a set pattern, set schedule to be able to do stuff and do more social media things. But if you still message us, I usually get back to you within a couple of hours. So feel free to text, feel free to message, do all that stuff. Have a good time, and we will see you next time.
Peace! I'm tweeting right now because I said I would.
Okay. Did you tweet the word right now?
Ah, crap, it's on Ropocalypse. It's not on Pickle and Boot Shop.
Oh. So you said that you were going to tweet right now. So just put right now and then just tweet that out.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, we're done. What time is it? 9:45.
Okay, I just tweeted right now.